The mother of all mothers, she cradles and embraces you, passing on her warmth and wisdom. She teaches you lessons, life experience, how to live in the now. She's a fighter with a heart of gold, running on her own time, calming her people to move in sync with her rhythm, her pulse. TIA, this is Africa. Africa is a land of contrast, customs and community, though also a land faced with many struggles and troubles. Poverty, disease, changing weather patterns, and deforestation through slash and burn agriculture are just some of what majority of Africans must face on a day-to-day basis. What the people of Africa can and need to do for themselves first must be to build some infrastructure, though to start up such a framework, people like you and I are needed. Zambia is a country in southern Africa. Its population is estimated to be 13,817,479 people, with a total area of 752,618 square kilometres, approximately 1/10 the size of Australia. As of 2012, the World Food Programme reported that 47.7% of the Zambian population is undernourished, holding Zambia in the highest poverty range in the world. So that would mean around 6.5 million people living in Zambia are undernourished. Climate vulnerability is high, with food security being affected by floods, drought, cattle disease, and low agricultural technologies. Other issues include high mortality rates due to AIDS, low life expectancy, and high infant mortality rates. Zambia is divided into 10 provinces: Central, Copperbelt, Luapula, Lusaka, Muchinga, Northern, Northwestern, Southern, Western, and Eastern. If you venture into the Eastern Province along the Great East Road, you will find a district by the name of Katete. This is where I found my feet, where I found Tikondane.
Well, you want to know how Tikondane began, but I really then have to say a bit more about myself, because I think it's part of the story. Being born in Germany at a very impressive time in life, they told us about the Holocaust. And I really felt the world wasn't worth living in, and had nightmares for a year, and never wanted a husband, and certainly no kids. So we were poor, however, and there was no chance to go to university in a hurry, but eventually I did, and then eventually I studied cross-cultural psychology. Now that's where you try and answer questions. How come that one group says the other group is bad? And that has been sort of the background for all I did, and I ended up really being interested in this culture-free, culture-fair idea of cognitive skills, and I've come to my own conclusions there, and now I'm having a wonderful time to be able to say that the people here are as bright as anybody, but their attitudes are totally different. And so every day is an adventure. Yeah? Okay, so Tiko came about because I started, well, before I finally came to Africa, I became a nurse. It became quite obvious from the beginning that people there, or people here, basically can't read or write. The electrician couldn't. Now that's a bit worrisome. And so it was the time for adult education. There was even an adult education association here in Katete. And so we started teaching reading and writing. And that was quite a success, and then the villagers came, and the hospital was a bit worried. And they said in the hospital there should only be classes for staff. So we needed a place for villagers, because that's where culture is found. And I tell you, it's another half hour how lucky it all came out that we ended up with 2 hectares given by the chief for development, even in writing. So then, of course, these villagers don't want to learn to read and write. They don't know what it's for. So then it came out, they wanted a job, they wanted a skill. And that's why Tikondane has become so very broad in what it does. On one hand, I was keen on my literacy classes. On the other hand, we started classes wherever we could find a specialist. And so there was for instance, sewing, but then it turned out the people couldn't even pay for the materials we bought for them. And it was clear from the beginning that we didn't have money. So very soon the idea came, hey, we better make some money. And we had bought an unfinished house, and so they were the first guest rooms. And that was okay. But then the guests sat around, I still remember, they sat around for hours, hungry. And it dawned on me that we needed a restaurant.
Mama!
And then if you have a kitchen, then you start baking bread. And you make jam, and you make peanut butter, and you need a garden. And you need your own animals, and you need an orchard. And then, of course, you needed carpentry, because we needed furniture. And so it just grew like topsy. It was just amazing.
My name is Moses Manda, or Musa Manda. Say it, Musa Manda. I was 26 years. My father have 4 wives, and the first wife is my mom, but my mom was dead when I was 12 years, and I was living with my stepmother. But living with my stepmother, there's a problem. I was staying with my stepmother, but most time does not give me any food, and sometimes he's shouting at me, and he's talking everything about me, but most he's saying I don't want this child because he have a big hand. So I don't want this. If you stay this child, maybe the marriage will be going to end just because of this. So there's a problem between my stepmother and me. Just I was staying with my friends. Sometimes I was going to find the job at Katete stores, maybe to selling some things like cloth and some. It's like some clothes and some the blankets, and I was finding the money so that maybe, but most is giving me the food, not money, but food. But when I was 15 years, and then I was also trying to go to Katete stores and helping the building department. So maybe I can manage to build the house. I was trying sometimes, but it's difficult. I was finding the problem of my hand. But when I was get back to my father and talk to them, but he refused to get me home. But I was trying to have some to find the money. Maybe I can staying with myself, but mostly the money here in Zambia is too difficult to find the money. But I was trying, and then after some years, I was come to talk with Elki about the job. But Elki is saying you have to come, and then I can give you a job. And then I was starting to work here. Starting with the garden department, almost 3 years, almost 3 months, and then he changed me to building department, and then after some months he's also changing me to kitchen department, and I was trying almost 2 months, and also changing to bakery. I was trying to help to make the bread, and then after some months also changing me to reception. Now I'm a receptionist, but I'm also a tour guide. But mostly the problem is the month we have a lot of hunger is February, because February everyone don't have food. Mostly you just get the mangoes eat mangoes the whole day. And sometimes maybe we can go on the field to find the pumpkins, and maybe we can eat pumpkin or pumpkin leaves without shima, because mostly here we are eating shima. I'm lucky just because here in Tikondane we get some food like hunger help of a new meal and some cloth and some shoes. It's also give us this thing for helping us to the house, and some seeds. It give us to go and plant the seeds. But most the problem is when you plant something, but there's a problem of fertilizer. Maybe we can plant the maize, but after sometimes maybe just only eating fresh maize, but we can't to get a lot of maize at home just because there's no fertilizer. But so mostly that's why hunger cannot going to end just because the fertilizer, maybe there's a problem for fertilizer, and sometimes this rain is coming late, like this time instead of November, but it's going to December, the rain will come.
What we do for our people in terms of in kind rather than money is, for instance, also shelter help. Now they all started in mud huts, and mud huts have the tendency in the third year to disintegrate. So we've paid for innumerable roofs and new mud huts, and in fact brick houses. But then you see people here are so poor. We found out last year in a questionnaire that even if they have a brick house, they may still sleep on the floor, on the soil, on a mat. So it's very, and 30 out of 100 don't have a toilet. 39, in fact, out of 100 don't have water all year round. It's bad, eh? But then really what we do for many of them is our community school. We have a school here, grades 1 to 7. It's totally free. Children don't have to have uniforms, they don't have to have shoes, they don't have to buy any provisions for school. They get it for free.
Huh? Yes, Salim. Kuweruziwa kwakuti bwanji. Kuweruza somona uchita paziko la pansi bali moyo kushe pokuweruza pajaza kuweruza wa moyo wakufa wa moyo chifukwa.
1, 2, 3.
Yes, they have 7 years of primary school, and I was dreaming of having year 8 and 9, but then you really get into the Department of Education demands, and you have to have a laboratory, and you have to have houses to house the teachers and all of that. So when our children finish grade 7, and especially for our crew here, we have the parents send them to school year 8 and 9, and we try and pray that we find enough people overseas to help us to look especially after the better students to get them through school.
My name is Benson Chingai Kabanda. I'm aged 49. I have 8 children and I'm taking care of 2 kids. These are my grandchildren. Also a sister was hit by a stroke 7 years ago. Being the head of the family, I'm doing some work at Tiko as a mud stove maker. We are making these mud stoves in order to save trees, since worldwide people are cutting trees for different uses. It's become a problem because we are losing a lot of trees, and then there is also a problem of the rain because trees are not enough. By making these mud stoves, we are using tiny pieces of firewood to make use of this, and this will help in the near future that trees will be very well saved. My work here is to try and teach not even individuals at Tiko, but also the nearby villages, that they have to learn to take care of trees, because trees are very important for our generation. And at the same place, I'm also to educate them that firewood, when they have firewood, they can save it for quite a long time without destroying a lot of land by cutting a lot of trees.
Then there is this idea of soya. If you learn a little bit about food, soya is as good as meat in terms of protein. So I remember from day 1 that I came to Katete, I wanted to get people to eat soya. Oh, no, they said, that tastes bitter. Then soap making makes sense in a country where people don't have enough soap. And I knew it needs caustic soda, but then I learned you can make the oil from plants which we grow ourselves.
We are making soap. If jatropha oil is 2 liters, if jatropha is 2 liters, caustic soda is 280 grams, jatropha oil 1,800 mils, water 800 mils. So we make 24 soap.
Then out of the blue came looms, and we do weaving.
I'm Dorothy. I'm weaving. I'm a weaver at Tikondane. I make scarf, bedspread, shower, walking blankets.
Okay, the main advantage which I can say about this garden, it is helping a lot of people about the issue of relish and the issue of a lot of properties, such as these plants like guavas, then pawpaw, then many people they normally avoid stealing other people's properties. As that, I can say those donors, they are doing the good things to help us. E.g., they bought us that machine like the chova pump there. We are using it for pumping water from the well there in order to irrigate our plants.
So what does Tikondane do to support people with HIV?
Okay, here at Tikondane is doing a lot. Tikondane is giving lessons to those who are positive living, and sometimes they are giving food, clothes, whatever. Yeah, and the lessons, more especially the lessons to those who are living positive. Since November 2011, this is the positive living meeting. It is being done every week on Saturday.
Okay, I am Mafna Sepiri from Rumbe village. I joined the Tiko support group in 2007. So I joined this support group because I'm HIV positive, so that I learn how to live positively. I'm having 4 children. The firstborn, he has completed his grade 12 this year in 2011. And then these 3, the other one is, the second-born is doing grade 5, then the third-born is doing grade 4, then the last-born, she will start next year grade 1. She is now 7 years. I'm living healthy because I have started my medicine. Without ARVs, I didn't know that I could have been alive. I thought that I could have died already. So I thank the government of Zambia who brought ARVs to make me healthy again. So these days, I'm not suffering any other disease. I'm just okay. I'm even going to the field, cultivating and harvesting my food there at the field. I'm also doing different activities when I joined the support group. I'm a traditional birth attendant. I am also doing palliative care. I'm a peer educator, and also I'm just a member in Tiko support group.
Yes, I'd like to say when the mother and the father they are positive, the baby will born negative. Just because of the lessons, they are taught some lessons to follow.
We do have a constitution and we have a mission and a vision, but depending on what I'm asked about, I think the 2 main ideas are to keep the women from having to sleep with the truck drivers who come through from South Africa and get AIDS. That's the number 1. Yeah? And the other is because Zambia is one of the countries with most AIDS orphans, and you can tell that here, out of 102 workers, 46 have something like a mini orphanage at home. On the average, 4 of their own children, 4 orphans. People here are just wonderful. That is just so much Zambia, I can't say. There is so many attractive little bits. It's fantastic.
Antu non se burani, tigwirane manja. Antu non se burani, tibemeze ambuye. Antu non se burani, tigwirane manja. Antu non se burani, tibemeze. Antu non se. Antu non se burani, tigwirane manja. Antu non se burani, tibemeze ambuye. Antu non se burani, tigwirane manja. tigwirane manja antu nonse bwerangi tipembedze antu nonse